Hello, hello, people. I'm here. Time to take down the October calendar. It is the 1st of November. Cheers. I'm just up. I'm up, and I'm in much better shape than these last couple of days. Thank God. It's miserable for the first part of the week. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. So, thank you for the response already to my new release, Inner Image. There's been several purchases already. Thank you very much for you folks who pay more for it than the $7 that I charge, because that means I do actually make something on the sale. Thank you very much. So, the other big news today in the music world, and this is big news, is The Cure's new album. I am not going to buy it, but they had a concert on BBC last night. Brand new concert by The Cure where they played some of the new album and old stuff. I watched the whole thing. I like The Cure, but I'm going to say something that I don't care if someone doesn't understand what I'm saying. I like what I'm doing better than The Cure. I think it's as substantial as what The Cure are doing artistically. Very much feel like I'm on the same level of creativity. When I started my band Digital Sex back in the early 80s and we finally made our record, we were often compared to, and the label that put the record out, Sordide Sentimentale, out of France, on the back of the CD in a descriptive thing, compare us to The Cure and the Riddy column. Here in Omaha, I introduced audiences to The Cure by playing their songs early on when they were still imports. Nobody knew who they were. I have great respect for Robert Smith and the band and their longevity, but I could use the money. They're rich, even just the band members, for what Robert is able to pay them. They're rich. Let me have some of that. Seriously, I'm not ashamed to say. It's based on the fact that I know my music is damned good, and I have moved on. But at one time, The Cure was an influence, but how I write has bloomed since then. So pick up on the new album, Inner Image. And of course, I'd love to see it out on a physical format, but not for now. Hope you had a good Halloween. I don't have trick-or-treaters, but sure enough, I was awakened at 2 in the morning by my neighbors, and it's cold right now, but they were drunk outside fussing and fighting. I don't know why people do that. Maybe they think if something bad happens, there will be a audience or a witness or something. I don't know. So, right quick, let's just do this because I don't have much to show. Okay, let me complete my thoughts. So, interestingly, the requests continue to come for me to review or even have on as guests people who are releasing music digitally, but there are no physical sales. It's kind of weird, but I guess that's just the way it is. So what I plan to do is mention a couple, because most of it is not. It's like it's good, but it ain't that good, and it's like, make this fun for me. This is not a paid job. I'm at home, so I don't want to sit here and talk about everybody else's digital releases. I really don't. Send me a copy if you can. There's a couple things though where they're digital, and one is an English guy, so I I understand him not wanting to spend the money to send me a physical copy, but I'll mention him, okay? But that's after I really listen, and that's not what I want to do, send me a copy. Okay, so for Halloween, what did I play? I've shown this before. This is Heinz Hoffman Richter, music to freak your friends and break your lease. So that's a nice commercial way to present the record that might get it sold. But in fact, this is actually a rather cool piece of electronic music from the 70s. It's his Symphony for Tape Delay, IBM Instruction Manual, and Ohm Septet. And when it comes to electronic music, there is always, not always, but especially in the early days, there's a sense of exploration in that you don't exactly know what is going to happen, even though you may understand what you're doing with these oscillators, etc. But this is quite enjoyable. It's not spooky. I don't think it's spooky. I think that a person could think of it as spooky sounding. I don't. I think it's good. I like it. I listened to some of this, and it reminds me that it was nice to hear from you, Andrea, in Italy. I probably read that about I Khalifi, that there was a member from area in the band, but I forgot. I have that book on Italian Prague. Good to hear from you, Fred. Another Italian band, Claudio Simonetti, right? Goblin. Profondo Rosso. They've done several. In Suspiria, I think that's probably their most famous, which I don't have, but I really like it. But this is really good too. Never seen the movie. I love that cover. Never seen the movie. I'm not particularly interested. Great band. So just to stay real, I may do a poll because I really didn't do much yesterday because I was in and out of bed. I did play this all the way through because I seldom have ever played side 2 all the way through. Side 1 is the ticket here. The first side of Black Sabbath album is classic. Interesting that they chose to cover the song by the band Crow, Evil Woman, on the side 2. The band Crow has a really excellent song. I hope I still have it. Cottage Cheese. It actually made it onto the radio here in the Midwest. I think they're a Midwest band. Really good, though. And their version of Evil Woman, the original, is better than the Black Sabbath, so. Let me go to the comments here because I'm a blank slate this morning. I feel so much better, but I have no agenda other than hoping to get a lot of sales. Not a few, but I'd like to get a bunch of sales on my music. I see that some folks are buying the other new album, D, as well. Thank you. They're nice companions. I love the story from someone who was watching my Phil Lesh tribute, saying that one time Phil's bass waves literally knocked me off my feet. So as you've seen, this is still working its way out, but much better today. I can see that. Nice to hear from Panix in Massachusetts. He is a longtime BC member. Haven't heard from Panix in a long time, so nice of you to stop by. Yes, Bill Nelson is an eccentric genius producer. I have several of his albums. Several. So I heard from Blake yesterday, and he wants to work again on Sunday. I feel so much better today. Um, um, I'm going to say, let's do it. Let's get together. One more thing about the Muse #2. I do plan to release it physically. I do intend to approach the label FPE that put out Future Still to see if they are still interested in my stuff and if they would be interested in doing a vinyl release. Depending on how that goes will determine whether or not I do a compact disc, because that was the deal that I encountered with the label. So, well, you've already put it out. We don't want to do that. But if it means that the Muse is on a waiting list to be produced for over a year, I might not want to go for that. We'll see. Okay? So, it's funny how life is. I have all these records to choose from to show you, and yet what I'm wanting to do is go out in the other room where things aren't. So, but I've hardly shown what I have here. A long time ago, Tony Amuro, who's still in the BC, he used to make videos. I don't know if he does anymore. Asked me at one point, so have you shown us everything in your collection? I said, are you kidding? Hell no. I probably repeat showing things because of my interest in them, because it's what I listen to, but there's a lot of stuff here I haven't shown. I'll go right here. No, let me go here. Okay, see, because I start looking at things and it's like, okay, this might be more interesting. We'll go here. Let's see what this brings. Here's a poll for you. Happy Friday. Turn On. This is a side project by the members of Stereolab. It's very similar to Stereolab and not. I like their music. Okay, now I was just talking about FPE, and here's a couple of their releases. Turning Jewels into Water, Map of Absences. This is one of the releases that they sent to me to review that really impressed me. It's a duo. Really good. Footwork, maybe, is what you call it. Maybe, I'm not sure. And here, this one, Which Way is Home? Percussive sampling, put together Eastern, not Western beats, Eastern rhythms. Very cool. Turning Jewels into Water. What's next? This is a 12-inch that I'm not sure how I knew. I know why now. This is Turning Shrines. It's a 12-inch single I've had forever. I bought this because it's on Temple Records, Temple of Psychic Youth label. I used to be a member of the Psychic TV group here in America. So I really like this. It's kind of gothy. Quarter Circle Black is a killer track. I love her voice, and I love the texture of the music. It's very dreamlike. This is real good if you've never heard this. I've never heard of any other. Well, I've not actually, can't remember looking for more music by this band, but this is a gem. Now here's something that quite honestly may eventually be getting traded out. I was excited by this when I first heard them, also with loving the fact that the band has a young black bass player who really seems to be a big part of what's going on with the band. Turnstile, Glow On. I bought this after watching their videos and really picking up on the energy. And they're good. They are good. But kind of like Amyl and the Sniffers, someone was asking me, had I heard, of course I've heard Amyl and the Sniffers. I've heard them quite a bit. They've been to Omaha several times. I don't go because I don't need to go watch them do the punk rock thing. If anything, I would want to be on the gig with them, competing with them, you know, trying to kick their ass off stage with my band RAF, because in our heyday we could do it. You know, she's flashing her tits and stuff, and I'm not interested in that stuff. That doesn't interest me. So the turnstile is for now here. Well, it could go. What do we have next? Trombonist Steve Turre, Viewpoint. Turns out he was born in Omaha. I don't know if he lived here very long, but he's an Omahan. I remember him, I think, first encountering him on David Sanborn's show, the music show out of New York, where everybody from The Residents to Miles Davis played. Viewpoint. Who's on here? Mulgrew Miller, John Faddis, Idris Muhammad. You know, he plays with the Cats, you know. I don't remember what this sounds like. I know it's good, though. Jazz. Here's one that I decided to go ahead and keep, but I don't particularly care for it to play much, except that when I am in the mood, it's like, this is sweet. It's not what I go for mostly, but I keep this. Stanley Turrentine Cherry with Milt Jackson. They're just so good. You know what I'm saying? They're just so good. But a lot of music that is that seems to want to conjure up sexual energy and stuff, I'm not exactly drawn to it, you know. Not too much, but I keep that one. I have two more to show. What's next? Okay, here's one. Is that a purchase? Yep, someone just made a purchase. Thank you. Tuxedo Moon. Interesting, unique band. I think I just thought they were really interesting. And this is called You. Again, it's like there's so much music, I would be at pains to try to describe this particular album to you. They have a well-known song in the underground, or what used to be the underground, What Use, by Tuxedo Moon. And that was released on Ralph Records, the Residents label. Unique band, though. Very unique. I think they were based out of Colorado originally, possibly. And here one more. I've got more Tuxedo Moon, but these are what came up. Had this a long time. Scream with a View, Episode 2, 12-inch EP. Bought this when it came out, 1979 or 1980. Haven't played this in a long time. I'm going to play this. Wish I could play it for you. I do. So there's a poll for you, people. Hope everybody's okay. I'm going to leave the news alone because it's very, very bizarre, but I will share this in case the person sees it. I had to block an ex-band member. I've shown the record that we made. I was playing with them up until recent years. Always knew the leader of the band was a redneck, but he's good. And I always liked him, you know, so I just kind of tried to look past that. But I blocked him after yesterday. He actually tried to post some disinformation calling Nancy Pelosi a Nazi. Now, see, that is just pure madness because there is nothing factual behind that. It really incensed me that my friend is so stupid. And I'll still call him a friend. I do love this guy. I won't say his name, but some of y'all probably can figure out who it is. That he's so stupidly parroting what his party says to say. He doesn't know that about. There's nothing factual about calling Nancy Pelosi a Nazi when we have all of this happening in the GOP that is just inhuman, wrong, racist, full of hate. I had to block him. And if he calls me, we're going to have it out. We're going to talk about this, To think that still, with as unhinged as the wannabe president is, well, it tells you what kind of people they are. And like I said, this friend of mine, I remember going to a gig that we had out in the country in a place I'd never played at before. And when I show up to the gig, I pull up and there's a truck out in front, and it's got pickup truck, and it's got the signs of rednecks, like not a gun, but it was something else. I was actually alarmed when I pulled up. I said, "Oh shit, what's going on here?" I pull up and it's the band leader's truck, and I just realized I'm behind enemy lines here. This is sad. These people would just as soon hang me if I don't entertain them. Racism is ridiculous. Racism, and it's stupid. It is stupid. That's what I want to say today.